Hello everyone and welcome to our e-lecture. We are going to talk about the inefficiency of splitting the bill with an experiment at a restaurant setting where the diners are all called to pay the bill in different ways. But first, let's take a look at the economic background. According to behavioral economics, there is the question, do people care about costs charged to others when it comes to making economic decisions? Are people altruistic, or are they selfish? For our goal, we will use the unscrupulous diner's dilemma. Why this, you ask? It is very common that people enjoying a meal all together will also share the bill. Therefore, selfish attitudes can be observed as someone can take advantage over the even split bill. To explain this better, let's observe some behaviors where half of the table will take advantage of the even split bill with a video from our special TV series Friends.
Divided by 6, and everyone owes $28.
Everyone?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's Monica's big night. She shouldn't pay.
Oh, thank you.
So 5 of us is $33.50 apiece.
No, no way. Sorry, not gonna happen. I'm sorry, Monica. I'm really happy you got promoted, but cold cucumber mush for 30-something bucks? No. Rachel just had that little salad, and Joey with his teeny pizza. It's just
Okay, Phoebes. Shh. How about we'll each just pay for what we had, okay? It's no big deal.
not for you.
So was Phoebe right? Was it fair for her, Rachel and Joey, to eat much less but pay the same amount as the others who ate a lot more? Think about that. For the experiment, 3 main manipulations were used and a 4th one which specifically controls the selfish behaviors. The diners pay individually for their meal. The diners split the bill evenly. The meal is paid by the experimenter itself. The diners pay only a small portion, 1/6 of their meal, and the rest is paid by the experimenter. So what is expected? That the diners will order more food when it's free and less when they will have to pay individually. The 4th manipulation controls the selfish attitudes against social considerations. Since they will pay only 1/6 of their own proportion, the whole bill will not be affected for anyone else. So with this condition, if they are selfish, they will consume the same proportion, and on the other hand, if they are not selfish, they consume more than when the bill is evenly split. So what do we know so far from our literature? Individuals consume more when the bill is split. However, it is more efficient when they pay individually, of course. The 80% of people prefer to pay individually without presence of externalities, but in the presence of externalities, they take advantage of others. At this point, let's take a look at the public good games by Davis and Holt and see how the selfish economic behavior is observed. During these games, people have to have the opportunity to free ride over the contributions of others. But will they take it? The incentives are confusing. It's observed, however, that if the games will be repeated for multiple times, then the contributions will fall. However, participants showed signs of confusion under the experiments. So what's wrong? Well, lab experiments can have limitations. People also can get confused under the lab conditions. And in order to prove that Andreoni repeated the experiment with the contributions being recorded, the majority were cooperative, but half of them acted out of kindness and the other half was still confused. Why was the restaurant chosen for this experiment? The setting is familiar, so the confusion will be reduced this time. This is not the first time that the setting is used. An experiment was repeated in 1980 by Taylor in an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Within all the theory, mainstream assumptions have been raised. So basically, when marginal benefit is more than marginal cost, individuals will consume more. When marginal cost is more than marginal benefits, individuals will consume less. In order for the consumption level to reach a utility maximization, then MC is MB. According to the above, there is always a negative relation between the marginal cost of the food and its consumption. In this experiment, three hypotheses are presented. The first hypothesis: diners will consume more in the even split bill than in the individual one. Second hypothesis: diners will consume more at the free meal than at the even split bill. And the third hypothesis: diners will eat more at the free meal than the individual paid one. The experiment took place in a university, Haifa, Israel. Technion students were recruited. There were multiple groups who took part in this experiment. A group consisted of 6 subjects, 3 female and 3 male, who were not familiar with each other. There were 3 treatments: the individual payment treatment, who consisted of 4 groups, the even split treatment, who consisted of 4 groups also, and the last treatment was a free lunch treatment consisting of 2 groups. The procedure. At first, the participants were asked to fill out a questionnaire about their emotions, which took them 10 minutes to complete. The group was instructed to fill out the questionnaire individually without communicating with other members of the group. In the individual payment treatment, participants paid for their own dinner. In the even split treatment, participants were told that the bill would be added up and evenly split between the 6 members of the group. In the free treatment, participants were told that the meal would be fully paid by the experimenter. There were 3 hypotheses, and to test the hypotheses, we used a t-test and a Mann-Whitney U-test to test the difference between the 2 groups. There were significant differences between individual pay and even split, between individual pay and free meal, and between the even split and free meal conditions. The costs of meals seem to rise the moment its full cost doesn't seem to affect the individual as much. As discussed before, the researchers chose for a 4th condition to control for possible altruism and unselfishness. In this 4th condition, the participants will pay for 1/6 of their meal, where the rest will be paid by the experimenter. Because eating more won't raise the cost for the other participants, contrary to the even split condition, this comparison can show the complete selfishness of participants eating as much as in even split. It might as well show social consideration by eating more than in even split, because raising the price won't affect their peers in this condition. There is the assumption of this regarding the experimenter less than their peers, but due to the participants eating a lot more in the free meals, this seems very likely. This study also checked for gender differences in these conditions. Previous studies have shown that males and females differ in their regard for others. Experiments have been conducted that have shown females showing more generosity towards others compared to males in dictator and reward allocation games. However, this result is not consistent among all studies. Based on the literature, it is expected that females will not utilize the ability to impose costs on others as much as males. This difference would therefore be expected in the even split group. Another reason why gender differences would be expected is due to biology as well as culture. Males tend to be bigger, and due to discriminatory social norms, females are expected to eat less. This difference would be expected in the free meal group. However, to the author's surprise, the results show no differences whatsoever. To find out if the distribution of other regarding stays the same in other situations, this study did a laboratory comparison. The laboratory setting used the same student pool as in the experiment study. This experiment didn't focus on the amount of food consumed, but on the amount of units chosen from the production table. How many units would a participant choose in the three different treatments? Participants from the first treatment pay the full cost and get all the revenue, similar to paying for yourself at a dinner. Participants from the second treatment got the full revenue and even splitted the total cost of all the group members, similar to the even split condition in the main study. Participants from the third treatment got the full revenue and only paid for 1/6 of the cost, similar to the 1/6 payment condition in the main study. There were two groups of 6 members per treatment. In contrast to the restaurant results, the difference between the individual pay and even split treatments is not significant, whereas the difference between the even split and the 1/6 pay treatments is highly significant. It seems that people behave the same way in the first two treatments, but differently in the last treatment, meaning that other regarding and the consequences thereof does not play a role. This conclusion does not appear consistent with what was observed in the restaurant study. Clearly, in terms of design, many things are different between the restaurant study and the lab experiment. As mentioned in the results, all hypotheses were confirmed. People also prefer paying for their own meals over splitting the bill. However, when forced to play according to the less preferred set of rules, aka splitting the bill, subjects nevertheless minimize their losses by taking advantage of others. But the question remained, why do people still split the bill? Unlike our experiment, groups of diners eating together are generally not perfect strangers, but rather friends or colleagues. Likewise, the custom of splitting the bill is generally prevalent among friends or colleagues and not among strangers. This difference is critical since with friends and colleagues the game is repeated, so punishment strategies in response to excessive waste are feasible. Nevertheless, one would expect some waste to result even among friends, since monitoring and punishment are imperfect. In that case, is there any reason why one would prefer to split the bill? Some cost is involved in paying individually. A part of it could be the mental cost of figuring out one's share of the bill and calculating the portion of tax and tip that apply to that share. Another part would be the social cost of appearing stingy or unfriendly. Given the cost of individually paying and the ability to reduce the inefficiency of splitting the bill through repeated game strategies, it may in fact be individually and socially optimal to split the bill among friends. However, the danger in customs which are based on rational decision making is that once they become conventions, they are resistant to change, even when circumstances change. References. This e-lecture was brought to you by the following. Thank you and come again.
Hi, how are you doing? My name is John. I'm starting my own company, but it's really difficult and I'm facing some problems. It's difficult to start your own company. Starting your own company gives rise to many different problems. But one of my biggest problems is the implementation of CSR. One of my biggest problems with CSR is that I don't even know what it actually means. I only have heard it from other company starters. But what does it mean? So I looked it up. CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. This refers to the social responsibility of businesses, which include taking into account the social and environmental impact of corporate activity when making decisions. But I don't know what this means in reality, so I did some more research. There are several companies who are transparent about their use of CSR. For example, Google, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, and, very delicious, Ben& Jerry's. But still, I still do not have a complete clear picture of what CSR actually means. Well, one of the things I do when I get sad is to get some ice cream. And one of the ice cream brands I really love is Ben& Jerry's. So that sparked an idea. What if we take a closer look at Ben& Jerry's policies and we can make a CSR a more concrete practice? Ben& Jerry's is actually a really good example to explain what CSR means in reality. Ben& Jerry's has many different CSR missions. They stand for fairness, especially about products' ingredients. This goes from products with a fair trade quality mark to fairness to the customer. An example of fairness to the customer is realized by the Get the Scoop campaign. Ben& Jerry's want to have transparency between the firm and consumer about what is in their food supply. Ben& Jerry's does this by supporting mandatory genetically modified organism labeling legislation and committing to transitioning all of the ingredients to be fully sourced non-GMO. Ben& Jerry's also supported protests against economic inequality in New York City. This shows that they also care about fairness in the social environment. That's great! I think that corporate social responsibility sounds very interesting. However, during my research, I've encountered some problems concerning CSR. The first problem I identified is about hidden motives. Customers might assume that CSR practitioners have ulterior motives. Consider a company choosing between high and low cost manufacturing options. This basically means choosing between the use of recycled or natural resource intensive materials. The good, CSR consistent option is profitable only if it generates enough customer interest to offset increased cost. However, if consumers are suspicious of the firm's intentions, the goodwill behind CSR may appear to be just another consumer manipulation. Another problem with CSR is about unclear consumer intentions. CSR purchases send a weak signal to oneself and to others regarding the buyer's social intentions. People identify with social causes they support, but purchasing from a CSR-oriented company may not fit their core identity. Don't get too hungry, there's still a lot to learn. But I want you to think again about Ben& Jerry's ice cream. Buying a bucket of ice cream can have different motives. You can either love the taste of Ben& Jerry's ice cream and therefore buy the bucket, or you can buy Ben& Jerry's because the company is engaged in different social responsibilities. But you can always pick Ben& Jerry's because they do both. What part of purchase reflects taste consciousness and what part reflects social consciousness is difficult to determine. But is there a better way? Well, this question was also subject of research in a study I found. In this study, they introduced a new concept, which is proposed as a new CSR strategy. This alternative is called SSR. This is an abbreviation for Shared Social Responsibility. The researchers proposed that in order to improve programs based on social preferences, companies need to specifically engage the social preferences of their consumers. In other words, the social responsibility should express the priorities that the firm shares with its customers. But why is this important? What is the relevance of this? Well, maybe I think that the relevance of this possible new alternative of CSR is that CSR can be more profitable when a company knows about the intentions of the consumer. Knowing about the consumer's intentions also increases knowledge and insights in consumer behavior. To learn about the consumer's intentions, the study used a recently emerged pricing strategy hinging on the social preferences of customers. This pricing strategy is referred to as Pay What You Want, abbreviated as PWYW. As it already suggests, instead of a fixed price, a firm offers a good or service for whatever price customers want to pay. This typically also includes the option to pay nothing, $0. In the study, the SSR situation is created through the combination of pay what you want pricing and CSR. Expected was that pay what you want helps in this context to create a SSR situation since the firm explicitly exposes itself to financial risk. In this way, a customer is unlikely to infer ulterior motives. Not only customers' concerns about ulterior motives are reduced by Pay What You Want, but also enhancement of the customer's identification with the cause was expected. Every dollar spent directly reflects the customer's self-identification. The researchers conducted a field study at a large amusement park. 113,047 participants rode a roller coaster-like attraction. During the ride, they were photographed and got to choose later whether they wanted to purchase a print of the photo. A 2x2 between participants design was used. This means that 4 different conditions were used in the study. The first dimension was the price of the picture. This was either a regular $12.95 price or a pay what you want price. The second dimension was charity. This was either no charitable contribution or half of the revenue going to charity. Results of the study show that low and similar purchase rates were revealed in the 2 fixed $12.95 price conditions. Purchase rate without charity was 0.50% and purchase rate with charity was 0.59%. When a pay what you want pricing strategy was used, the purchase rates were substantially increased to 4.49% in the pay what you want plus charity treatment and to 8.39% in the simple pay what you want treatment. Although the purchase rate was high in the simple pay what you want treatment, buyers paid significantly more per photo when half of the revenues went to charity. It turned out that both charity treatments are the most profitable. A t-test confirmed that SSR is substantially more profitable than traditional CSR. Nice, that's fantastic. It seems that SSR can be used as an alternative to CSR. I wondered whether there's a better alternative to CSR. In the study, SSR was proposed as a viable option. The results showed that SSR increased profit. A reason for this could be, on one hand, the minimized suspicion of the firm's intentions, because the firm explicitly exposes itself to financial risk. On the other hand, it could be a result of the maximized identity expressiveness in the purchase. Apparently, a company can best serve its community and its shareholders by sharing its social responsibility with its customers. At the beginning of this presentation, I wanted to implement CSR in my company, but now I consider to make use of SSR. In this way, I can be transparent about my intentions. I can make money and I can contribute to social consciousness. Now I know I can use this strategy if I would sell photos, but I still do not know how to use it on other products. This is a big limitation. Another limitation might be possible product cannibalization, or in other words, a reduction in sales volume. Total sales data from the study suggests that increased photo revenue does not lead to decreased merchandise revenue in the immediate store. However, future research is needed to thoroughly investigate the incidence of product cannibalization. I hope I explained the term SSR clearly enough. Now you've gained some new insights in consumer behavior. I think we've learned a lot together. Now it's time to be as successful as I am.